Hello and welcome to my 71st book synopsis. Well, today's book is a different genre. You would know that there are economic events that we call as huge. I am going to talk about one such economic event which I learnt in my school days, which is US Depression of 1930. The book that I am going to talk is about the Great Crash 1929, the classic account of a financial disaster by John Kenneth Galbraith. Book was published in 1955 by Penguin. Now the question obviously arises is, what has depression to do with crash? The crash means share market crash, stock exchange crash. The depression followed the crash. Now, are these two interlinked by any chance? We will see the reasons for that. Of course, the crash did not finish in 1929. It was a crash, but that crash actually continued till 1932. And obviously depression also continued till that time. This small 200-page book gives us insights into the crash, and it also gives us some of the weaknesses that were there which eventually lead to the depression. Because of paucity of time, let us quickly start with the reasons as to why the great crash happened. Then we'll talk about depression a little later. Number one is about reduction in the discount rate by Fed from 4% to 3.5%, which means that more money is available in the market, and that as the more money is available at the lower cost, that money flew into the market. Number two, the investment trusts and holding companies borrowed the money at cheaper rate and lent it to the retail investors to make an investment in the share market. The word investment here needs to be known that it is actually what we today call as margin trading. So it was not proper investment but primarily a trading. So till such time market is going up, the margin trading game can be played. But if market starts falling, then you have to pay higher margin money and then the game is off. Number three, speculation. I find it very interesting that irrespective of the region, irrespective of the time, this particular factor of speculation continues. So speculation rather than investment. Number four, herd mentality. Again the same. When the market is at the peak, when you actually should start selling, people enter because many people are there in the market. So herd mentality, everybody is buying, you should also buy. Fifth reason is, at some point of time, Fed increased the rates. So when the rates are increased, that much money is sucked out of the market, which also means that the cost of borrowing the money increases, which also means that you have to actually pay up higher margins, and then that may cause little trouble. Last one is, when these things started happening, obviously investment trusts and holding companies had to make money. So they decided to sell, and these were huge investments. So once they decided to sell, they sold in heavy duty. Obviously market crashed and everybody was selling. Some point of time there were virtually no buyers and only sellers, and then market crashed and crashed and crashed and crashed. So these were the reasons for market crash. But the question is that how is it linked to depression? While the author does not say that the market crash is the only reason, that obviously is one of the reasons for the depression to happen, there are other reasons which he says as a weakness of the US which caused the depression. I'll quickly take you all through that. It's already 4 hours, it's already nearly 5 minutes. One is bad distribution of income. We see that today also. Author says that 5% of the people had 1/3 of the money. So obviously, when these people invested, the investment started. But when these people stopped the investment, because they got hit badly by the stock market crash first, because they were investors initially. So as they did not have money, they did not invest. They did not invest. No new employment got generated, and that could be one reason for recession. Number two is bad corporate structure. Now that time there was a concept of investment trusts and holding companies, which effectively controlled the corporates, and as they needed more money for investment in the market, they extracted a lot of dividend from these corporates, which obviously means that you do not have surplus available for doing real investment in the business. If you do not do good investment in the business, you know what happens. Third, bad banking structure. Basically it says there was no appropriate supervision available at that point of time. Fourth, foreign trade imbalance. This is an interesting thing. Author says that US was a huge export economy. So when the foreign buyers failed, the US economy failed to pay the export money. The impact was in US. Fifth and last is poor state of economic intelligence. Author vehemently says that all the economists, all those advisors for the Federal Reserve, for the president, they just did not realize that the depression is around the corner. And obviously these were the reasons for the depression of going on. In fact, somewhere I read that the depression actually went away only after US actually entered into the Second World War, because the money got diverted into war, people went for, so they got employed, etc. Okay. The last chapter, the author is optimistic. Remember, the book is published in 1955. The author is optimistic that we have learned the lessons and hopefully such crash will never happen. And you have 2008 where we had global financial crisis and market against crash. Market never learns. Till such time there is a speculation and there is a herd mentality, these things will continue. You just cannot stop that. I am recording this in February 2024, and in Indian markets it is growing and it is at near to the peak. Nobody can say near to the peak. By the time you see, it could have gone to 80,000 also, I do not know. But I hope that this is not a bubble. So if anybody wishes to study and understand what went wrong in 1929 market crash of US, this is an interesting discussion, because a lot of common points are there, a lot of learnings are there for everybody, irrespective of the region, of the time. It is a nice book, simple, but we need to study, read it with concentration, but it is an interesting book. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Take care.